Is currently 1:49 p.m. I am going to video in order to show you the specific environment where demons are targeting at a distance away from you, but for the evidence showing the federal government, the malice of the government that's engaged in the P.O.C. with the people of the state who are both employees and patrons at the venue. You walk in an engineered light. She's monitoring. Okay, this is how she's monitoring. Don't have to talk to you. Okay, this is engineer light. This is the shadow of the gate as I walk in it. You're monitoring. You're also stalking in the path, keeping your back to that person. You don't have to talk to them. Walking behind me, stalking under the fake sun that's here at 7, like you saw yesterday at 4 in the afternoon. Walking past this demon's hotel room, my shadow appears on the ceiling inside of his hotel room when you're looking at what is the supernatural, and these are demons that are pacing, and they're also monitoring my vagina. Sex offenders, male and female. Federal stalking is underway, and these are demons that are pacing. And they're all focused on me. This is the demon possessed, and it's also the criminal surveillance of the state of California. The impossible light is all in the depths. Just walking out to engage in the pattern of conduct. The establishment is going to be prosecuted, and this is state surveillance that the state of California, the city of Ontario is engaged in. And this demon is engaged in as an employee, and potentially one that's going to be subject to deportation, is gang stalking with the patrons like they just demonstrated under the fake sun, and they are engaged in a whole operation here, and it's entirely unintelligent. That's why she's gang stalking after 4 p.m. yesterday. It's 1:50. Okay, 1:51 p.m. and this is how you're going to prove targeting. The entity is doing it. This is all shade. Okay, so the inexplicable presence of the shadow of this gate, the gate is in the shade. Okay, this is supposed to be the light, which is distinct, and even that's impossible light activity. Okay, while it's appearing on here, but you're going to recognize where they're stalking. All right, they're stalking right where the entity is maintaining. Hold on, where the entity is maintaining the maintenance of the engineer light that's above. This is also, I want you to see here. This is all light. It's supposed to be the shade. That's an illusion. They're all stalking in engineered light. And while you are stalking on the roads and the highways, that's amplified audible activity, while they're stalking inside of their hotel rooms. And so is the housekeeper. And she's at this distance while I'm inside of my hotel room, and the rumbling of the floor. I'm outside amongst them right now. That's not going to cause your floor to vibrate. You're also witnessing mental illness while the demon-possessed engage in targeting you and not addressing you. They're going to be diagnosed and placed in mental asylums and in federal prison. And this is what Tracy Banks does while gang stalking as a relative. And she does so with the people of the state. So let me show you that this is a demon. This is indeed a demon, and this is the evidence that that's a demon. This is where the fake sun is at 9 o'clock in the morning. Her license is 9EKC937. She's also a sex offender engaged in federal stalking. Impossible light as she opens the door. This isn't even the sun. That's above me. This is evidence of this being a demon-possessed person, and she shares the condition of all these demons that are stalking on the roads and highways, including Ontario Police crossing path right now at 1:52 p.m. You need to understand, it's just a police vehicle that's speaking to the demon possession of Mike Lorenz and everybody of the Ontario Police Department, just bearing a logo. This is exposing the demon-possessed population. The sound of amplified traffic while this demon walks outside, an inexplicable light that's appearing on the door, that's all over the ceiling, stalking you in your face while engaged in severe methods of monitoring, meaning severely obsessive. And this is the vessel, meaning human beings that are demon possessed that are gang stalking, and all she's doing is stalking. Remember, it's activity creation. Pacing in and out of the room under the fake sun, stalking in your face. The fake sun is here for 12 hours, and this is what you're doing when you're paying for hotel rooms to engage in that P.O.C. And this is exactly what you're documenting. This is obsession. This is mental illness exhibited by those that are engaging in that P.O.C. Okay? And I want to be clear because the employees are going to federal prison. All right? The employees are going to federal prison for gang stalking. That's pacing. That's P.O.C. That's 9MBP997. All right? And gang stalking where the sensational activity is created while she's at a distance away from the hotel room. And this is speaking to the evidence of what is indeed supernatural. It's called activity creation. And in the document entitled Economy in the People, PDF, that's the document where I'm doing methods of targeting while demons are inside of their hotel room, stalking in the path beneath my room, above my room, and around my room. They're sharing in that pattern of conduct, and it is massive surveillance. Okay, the employees are identified that are engaged in kidnapping on September 25th, 2020 as the entity engaged in obstruction of justice, and they are gang stalking, and doing so as you're witnessing malice and impunity. You're witnessing severe mental illness. This is psychopathic behavior. While the demon possessed that don't have any defense, no intellectual response, they just gang stalk as though nothing's happening. okay? And this is speaking to the national security threat of the mentally ill, the special needs population that are targeting American citizens. And this is the system that Tracy Banks, Jason Isaac Fields, the Ontario Police Department, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, the corrupt courts such as the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, demons like Lisa Rogan, engaging with her kidnapping while they're targeting as an entity and relying on that to falsely depict the character of an American citizen when you're witnessing their severe mental illness, the psychopathic and antisocial disorders that are inherent to gang stalking, the asininity of doing it under a fake sun. This is where the fake sun is at 9:30 in the morning. All right, this is where the entity is gang stalking by commercial planes, Alan D. Wapner, by helicopter, Mike Lorenz. Okay, gang stalking by the entity that sounds sirens, demons, just like that. They just have training to be identified as behind acronyms like EMT when the same demon-possessed gang stalking system is underway. Okay, this is speaking to public corruption, and the entities engaged in what is the inhumane and psychologically harmful pattern of conduct of gang stalking. And this is a demon that's obsessively stalking in the path. She's in alignment to my room. She's under the fake sun that's no longer at that end. It's right here over me. This is how you're identifying she's stalking, and she's doing so as a whole government operation. And the government's ongoing obsession, which is illustrated through the gang stalking tactics of the people of the state who are demon possessed, that's going to remove demons like Paul Leon from office. Okay, because you need to understand the maniacal psychopathic issues that are behind gang stalking. Okay, this is showing obsession, not normalcy. This is manning the path and maintaining presence regardless. And there is no longer any mystery there. There's no anonymity. The entity is speaking to specific knowledge. This is where the fake sun is at, where I'm documenting at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And the demon is at a distance, stalking with the ongoing roarous, like rumbling sound. I'm wearing headphones, listening to content. And while demons are under my room, surrounding my room, pacing around my room, including via aircrafts, like you already know, Alan D. Wapner's already shown you that they're gang stalking, so you know who she's acting with. And she only represents one person. She represents the entity that is gang stalking under a fake sun that's over this 2301 South Euclid Avenue for 12 hours from 7:16 a.m. until 7:04 p.m. where I'm at now, Economy Inn. And there's no provision for Tracy Banks to ever have the sun over her apartment, contrary to what I documented when the same demons, the people of the state, are gang stalking at Woodside Senior Apartments at 408 West G Street in Ontario, California. Let alone what I'm documenting in Monrovia, California, where the fake sun's remaining over my hotel room, remaining over that venue, where the Monrovia Police Department and the people of the state, the demon possessed, that are gang stalking at that hotel. That's Courtyard by Marriott, a gang stalker that makes a lot more money and has a lot nicer of a venue while they are still engaged in the sexually perverted and psychologically harmful criminal pattern of conduct of surveillance via the people of the state. Corrupt business practices are shown under the fake sun, okay? This is the P.O.C. and this is obsession. This is what you're looking at. Okay, I've already shown you, and you're looking at what is crossing in path. She's making sure that she's maintaining presence in the path, and there's sex offenders that are obsessed with my vagina as well. This is the Jezebel spirit operating over a person. Spirits are invisible. You're identifying them through the pattern of conduct, through the maintenance of impossible light that's occurring in a manner that you're not supposed to be aware of, okay? And that's the P.O.C. Again, license 5 MBP 997. If she's not a natural born citizen, she's going to be deported. And she's gang stalking with demons of all races in both genders. Sex offenders of the male gender, sex offenders of the female gender. It's a spirit that's a sex offender, and it's inspiring the criminal conduct of the government who acts through the people of the state, and they are all highly unintelligent. Okay, at what is 1:58 p.m., 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the entity's keeping the fake sun over Starbucks. All right, at 507 North Euclid Avenue. This is speaking to the specific environment where Starbucks committed kidnapping with the people of the state who engage in criminal summoning and lie about you while they are hostile to you documenting them, which is exactly what she knows is underway. But a psychopath acts like they're oblivious to your presence, acts like they don't know, they're not paying attention to you. And that psychopathic iteration of showing you what is mental illness is proven through what is the maintenance of the specific environment where the government is keeping you under surveillance, okay? And it's an unlawful threat. It's an unlawful threat to your safety, to your life, to your liberty as the entity engages in a pattern of kidnapping. And the entity is doing it where I'm showing you the fake sun is over me at 9 o'clock in the morning on this side of the property, at 9 o'clock in the morning on this side of the property. I'm showing you it's over me at 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm standing in the parking lot where this demon is right now gang stalking, and doing so as a means it's cooperative. She's not acting by herself, all right? And the entity is stalking in all of these hotel rooms. This is how desperate the people of the state are to keep me under surveillance, paying money at a facility, at an establishment, in order to engage in what is stalking me. That's how important my vagina is. That's how to a bunch of sex offenders who are demon possessed is the Jezebel spirit, and that's how important and crucial I am. Every move that I make is subject to surveillance, and that's how you have what is the rumbling activity, impossible light that you already know is inside of this hotel room, and then the demon possessed keep their back to you as though you have forgotten that evidence, and you haven't. This is relevant for what is diagnosis of mental illness and prosecution, conviction for criminal conduct. This is crossing path, and that's federal stalking in plain view. She's engaged in monitoring on communication devices and on the internet, okay? This is P.O.C. It is currently 1:59 p.m. and I am stepping out documenting, again, license 9 MBP 997 is targeting while she's at a distance. At the moment that I move inside of my hotel room, that's when the impossible maintenance of any sort of sensational activity in the floor is coexisting with what is known about what I'm doing, movement as I move. The entity does the same thing with plane activity, helicopter activity, amplified sound of traffic, any means of maintaining noise and engineered light. While a bunch of demons are stalking, coming in and out of their hotel rooms, going to and that's pacing. They're doing it while the fake sun's over me at this end, and this is where the fake sun is right now, where demons are stalking, okay? This is where I was at 9:30 in the morning, where I'm documenting the same pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. and EconomyN's been engaged in and documented as engaged in gang stalking as of 2020. They engaged in kidnapping, and this is showing impunity. Gang stalking immigrants are going to be deported, and the unlawful threat that they pose to American citizens while they're engaged in targeting as such is the evidence supporting that federal policy. It is currently, again, 2 p.m. on the dot. This is P.O.C. at EconomyN.